We're here at Host Milan 2025 and there's some amazing new technologies in the coffee machines, from designs, power, concepts that we want to share with you. So let's go in and have a look. So we're on the Rocket stand, and one of my favorite new machines is the new R58 Tune. It actually comes in a couple of different options where you can have the standard group head or you can have the new pressure profiling group head. Now the cool thing about this is it is actually retrofittable back to the old Rocket models. And that's so cool because everyone keeps ringing me to find out which device they can put into their Rocket models and they don't work. So now there's an option and that kit is sold individually as well. So that's fantastic. Even though it does have the new shape group head with the fast heat up as well. So that's a fantastic addition in these models. Diving a little bit deeper, you'll see that the interface is now raised up from down below up to a more higher, easier to use and see interactive display. By moving it up, they've made some much larger, bigger style feet to give it a bit more of a grounding feel. It does feel a bit more commercial based, so if you're in an office, something like that, this machine will stand out a little bit more over a more smaller style domestic machine. You've got the upgraded size drip tray and including the whole new chassis as well. So that's the anti-rust metal that's been used throughout the whole new range here with the Rocket machines. With the new aesthetic along the top cup rails and the options for stainless steel or black, the other feature that has got me really excited is not only do we have new steam wands, but also a bump tap as well for the purge. So that is a really cool feature that we haven't seen on any other turn dial steam tap machines. So that's an exciting machine, so keep an eye out, it's coming soon. We're on the ECM stand here and the newest machine from ECM is the Estetika. It's a dual boiler with a brand new group head and if you look closely, it's volumetric control. Something we've been waiting for in the home market that I'm pretty excited about. Standardly, you've got the dual boilers and you can have either on at a time. So if you just after espresso, you can have the front group and you can turn off the rear boiler and save yourself some power. The new heated brew group as well. So it's a more stable control with a digital controller PID. So right now I've got it set at 90 degrees water, but easily you can change that through the menu system so that you can have the specific water temp for the ideal roast that you like. You've got programmable timing for on and off, obviously programming volumetrics for your espresso in single, double or a manual option. You've got a full LCD digital display there to control everything, which allows you to turn on things like your shot timer lights as well. You can have a direct plumbing because it does have a rotary pump in this machine. And one new feature which is really cool is the combination 3-in-1 portafilter. It comes standard with a double or single spout, but easily removed to become a bottomless portafilter. With cool touch wands and the nylon acetal in the end there, that means it's nice and safe for all your steaming needs. We're not sure about the availability of this one. It will be hopefully next year, and I don't know what the price is yet. So in my hands here, I actually have the brew group that is used in the Estetika and also in the new Discover. So this is the little cartridge element that makes it so stable. But to talk more about how it integrates, we've got Julian here. Julian, thanks for your time. Mate, tell us a bit more about the Discover.
The Discover, yeah. You already mentioned the new brewing head. So our idea was to step up, like if you know our professional range, there is a very similar machine, but based on an HX system. So we tried to put it into a newer shape and thought about temperature management, and we are pretty happy with the performance of the ring brew group, but we wanted to really deep dive into temperature and stability. So that's why we did our own brew group based on the ring brew group, and as you said, attached two heating elements, which just gives us the chance to use different brewing temperatures on our machines. But they share the same boiler. So we have one coffee boiler, but we will be able to adjust the temperatures in a certain kind of range to really go for maybe different type of roast if you prefer that.
Sure.
You open the menu, 2 tabs. You can access any brew group you want. The temperature, let's say you want a little lighter roast, maybe with 96 degrees. And now you see it's already heating up. Bam, there. Yeah.
So it is actually a dual boiler machine. You've got one for hot water and steam.
Yes.
And there's a front boiler, about 85 degrees, feeding water into the brew groups.
Exactly. So we have 6 liters of steam boiler. You can set it up to, I think, 134 degrees, so there is quite a lot of steam power.
Yep.
And then we have, for the brew groups, I think it's 0.75 liters with the 2-group machine, which gives you very nice performance.
Yep, so you
Also
got
in a row.
shot timers, cool touch wands with these new acetal style food grade tips.
Yes.
Nice and safe. And I believe it sits at about 15 amp power, which is in the entry level, great for a caravan or maybe some portable coffee vendors.
Well, yeah, it will be a little difficult to really obtain that, but yeah, we have like 400 watts in each brew group. We have, I think, 1,000 watts in our coffee boiler. And actually, I don't know how many power we are putting in the steam boiler, but there is quite a lot.
So maybe 20 amps,
Yeah,
not 15.
yeah.
Okay, awesome. So one of the other cool things is the integration of the new portafilters. That's your single, that's your double, and then you can pull them off and turn them into your
Bottomless?
bottomless if you want. But easier to wash, easier to rinse, and just fully compatible for any type of coffee that you're going to be using on your machine. Well, thanks very much for your time, Julian.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. I'm on the Quick Mill stand, and one of the most exciting things we have right now is the partnership that they have with Eureka grinders. They have what's called is TO Connect. We have a TO grinder and a TO coffee machine. And basically they can talk to each other to make sure that you get a super easy extraction. Let me explain a little bit further. We have a weight-based grinder here, but what we have is once you put in the recipe for your weight, not only for how much coffee you want in your group handle, you are also starting to set parameters of temperature and yield so that the machine knows exactly what it's going to be making when it comes across. So we'll pop in the handle and it will start to grind the dose for the recipe that's already set in here for the 2 group. Once that's finished, we'll be able to bring it over to the machine. We'll give that a quick little bit of a level, bit of a tamp. When we bring it over and we lock it in, the blue means that we're working off the recipe that was put into the grinder. We could make a change if we want manually with this dial and go and do a single espresso or make a change if we like, but if we want to stick to the recipe that was in the grinder, the blue lights up, there's a little tick down the bottom here, and essentially all you do is grab your cups, pop them under, hit go, and you're ready to extract. When that's happening, there's a few extra features that you can play with, which is your variable pump pressure here as well. It's a vibration pump, so essentially that was set at 11 bar. I'm going to bring that back down to the good old standard 9 bar. Now it's recording all the data, and if our recipe was to extract in 24 seconds, it's got a plus or minus of 3 seconds before it's actually going to go and adjust the burst set on the grinder. So we're at 23.7, so that's within the parameter. So the machine now isn't going to tell anything to the grinder, it's just going to say keep going, we're happy. But if there was a change, it would actually increase or decrease the burst sets to speed up or slow down the extraction. That is pretty cool. Host is the place to release new products. It's not quite in production yet, but I'm sure in the early parts of next year, we'll start to see this model coming throughout the world. Here we are on the Lelit stand, and this is the new Mara X3. It's going to be released a little bit later next year, but there's some great features that are allowing such a small compact machine to really stand out. So firstly, you can see that the wood finishes here is different. It's a smoked wood, and what they've done with the handles here is they've actually made them longer and including a balanced weight on it. So it will balance a lot better. So that's a really nice touch. And you can see that they have changed the knobs, the actual shape, and they're a lot bigger and larger. So that's a nice finish. Adding as well the same on the brew group lever. Aesthetically, it's still going to come in stainless steel, the black and the white, with this timber as well. But the one thing that is a real standout is this little thing on the side that you might have already seen. It's called a bagaya. Now, what it is a variable flow control through to the head, but it's not a variable valve that we've seen on other machines. What actually happens is, as you change the valve, which I think is really cool, you can pop your finger in and just slide that around, it is actually varying the power that is applied to the vibration pump. Because we all know if we change the pressure or the back pressure on a vibration pump, it's not going to work that well. So this allows you to change the power to the vibration pump, increasing or decreasing that pressure that will be applied to the coffee bed. So a really cool way at adding a lot more value into a entry-level machine in the HX. And I think it's going to be a winner when it comes out later next year. This is really exciting technology. We did see it a couple of years ago in prototypes, but we actually have it here in Ladoria Machines. Thomas, mate, tell us all about what is happening right now.
Okay, this is our new machine. We can do hot extraction, cold extraction, first a hot and then a cold immediately, so we can switch between different coffees, beverages. So this is a new style of preparing coffee.
Okay, show us how it happens, mate.
Okay, when we do a hot extraction, so maybe I use the flush to do for the next beverage. So I plan now a hot extraction. I grind the coffee, and in this time I flush and clean the group. So, and then it's prepared for the next shot.
Awesome. So there's no boiler in this machine. This is instantaneous technology to heat. So you can see on the screen, it basically was at 0 temperature. The preheat then went straight up to 93 degrees. And now we're preparing this coffee.
Yeah.
So very intuitive, great power saving happening.
But not the grinder as well at the moment.
And a grind by weight.
Yes.
Yes.
So.
In partnership with Eureka grinders.
Yes. So. Take time.
All right, yeah. Can we do the hot one at the same time? Hot out of this, cold out of this?
Yes.
Do you want to grind the... So we've got two different types of roasts in two different grinders here. One for a hot extraction, one for a cold extraction.
So hot.
Yep.
And so I need a double.
Sure.
Somewhere. Maybe there.
So right now that is pre-infusing. It's got up to 94 degrees and optimal pressure there. You've got a little cool gauge.
And within 2 seconds you have seen we are on temperature, and then extraction starts.
Beautiful.
So immediately. So.
And a different profile here, different grinder for...
Yes, and for the cold I do a finer ground, so I compensate the expansion of the coffee in the hot extraction by a finer ground. Okay. So very simple. Yeah.
That's a sneaky piece of paper there.
No, this is high tech.
I see. Can you pull the handle out just a little to help?
No, it's one grinding by weight.
One by weight, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. That's very fine. And a light roast.
And if you only to show you here, if you go in the recipe of the hot or cold, we do 37 3-bar.
Okay.
So that was
37 degrees, 3-bar pressure.
I flush.
Light roast, super fine.
I test because I didn't before on this group. No, it's okay. Good.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay, 1, 2.
So we can see here it's only going up to 37 degrees.
Yes.
That's cool. There's an optimal pressure gauge. We're going to zoom in and show you this as well. This is fantastic.
Now in a cold extraction, there's no limit in time, so you can go 1 minute, 2 minutes, but we stop about in 20 seconds.
Okay.
That's enough.
So 20 seconds total or 40, 50 in total?
45, so it's enough then, 45.
Okay. I mean, that's an extraction that we wouldn't be happy with if it was hot.
Well, it's cold.
I know.
It's a different world.
It is, isn't it?
So it's body temperature, so you feel very comfortable with 37. Stop. That's enough.
Okay.
So you can compare.
Sure. Thanks. Well, it's actually quite bright acidity. That's sweet. Quite well balanced. That's pretty good espresso. I mean, that's...
Yeah. So now we do a cold Americano for you.
A cold Americano. Okay.
Oh, no, a cold Australian.
Australian.
Which one is the cold? That
That's
one?
the cold one.
Okay. Do not sip. We will stir first.
Sure.
Wait.
So right, there's not a huge amount of difference between a cold or a hot extraction there. You've actually got a big amount of flavour.
So, please.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's like a cold brew.
Yeah.
It's like cold brew coffee that we spend hours pre-preparing. That's very, very good. That is great technology, being able to do that.
Yeah.
Well done.
Very simple.
Cool. So come on, let's make a coffee on the Wendougee grinder and machine. There's some pretty cool, interesting things here. We've got their grinder, which is a weight-based. Have a look at the grind quality that's coming out there. It's quick, it's fast, it's light and fluffy. It also has the ability to connect with the coffee machine. So the recipe that's combined right now between these two, if it doesn't get the right recipe, it will actually go back and change the grind. The setting will either go coarser or finer to achieve the recipe. So we'll pop this in, we'll grab a cup under. Now these are a saturated group head, so we can change the temperature being applied to the coffee puck. You've got obviously the rear boiler and flow control. Don't ask me how to use it, but there's a lot of tech going on in here. You can also have your iPad connected here for further controls if you needed to. One thing that I think is pretty cool, just something a bit different. The steamers are on the side here like this, and they've actually got a cutout in the drip tray to hold the steam, which is pretty smart because usually that just goes everywhere. So that's something I'm quite impressed with. We've got our Cool Touch wands and little Cool Touch tips. Seems to be pretty good pressure. Probably a little bit slower than I'm used to, I'll be honest. All right, we're there, we got it. That's pretty cool. I do like that feature. It's probably the smartest feature on a commercial machine I've seen in a long time. All right, anyway, we've ended up with some pretty silky milk there. Tap out some bubbles. We've got our espresso shot. Let's see what we can pour out here. A little bit thin on the milk. I have struggled with the Italian milk. A lot of it's UHT, so don't hold that against me. But how's it taste? Yeah, look, it's rich, it's creamy. The UHT flavour of milk is just powering through every milk coffee here in Italy. But look, that is pretty impressive. I must admit, something coming out of China to have so much tech, pretty easy and intuitive to use. This is the first time I've actually used this whole setup. So there you go. Someone like me can get on, make a coffee, and maybe that's something you might need in your cafe. Well, there you have it, guys. That is a wrap on the coffee machines here at Host Milan 2025. Some really cool stuff, some new stuff. What did you like the best? Pop a comment down below. Love to hear what your thoughts are. We'll catch you next time. Cheers.